Good morning and welcome to episode 146 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down2dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I am Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
But I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Woo!
Slam through.
Taylor.
I'd like to give my time to the L-Man because I want to know, where do you think Kate Middleton is, or why is she gone? You specifically. Don't give me all the different things. What do you think?
Dead.
You think she's dead?
No, I think they're getting divorced.
Oh, okay.
And Jay.
It's Jay. I don't think she's.
Jay, where is she? The video of them there. Have you seen the video of them walking? It's not her.
Yeah, it's not her.
It's not her. The video. The thing is like, oh hey, I'm alive. Here's a picture of me from Mother's Day. Edited.
Yeah, it's weird.
Where is she, Jay?
I don't know the.
Do you hope
answer.
for her safe return?
Yeah.
That was not.
Yeah, it took a second.
Like, maybe you're not.
What's
Not
challenging
convincing.
about it to me is I'm like, if she was okay, knowing how much this is everywhere, like just come out and
Has this been really bothering you? Is
Here's
this
what
what's
I think
challenging to
happened.
you?
Here's what I think
just
happened.
come. You could fix all of this. All of this.
It'd be the simplest thing
like,
ever.
just tell us where she is.
Hey,
Just tell us where she is.
just say, hey, I'm Kate. Here's a newspaper from today's date. I'm alive. I'm fine. I've been really sick. I'm going to be recovering. I'm not going to be in public because I don't feel like I look my best. There. I just solved it. And they can't do it over the course of, 2 or 3 months. This is what I actually think happened. Really, what I actually think happened.
Okay.
I think William's been cheating.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he has a child with another woman who is older than their 3 children,
Oh.
which means that child will be king and not those 3 children.
Oh.
She learned about it. She's flipped out. She's left, and she's not cooperating with the palace.
So the Thunder beat the Jazz on Wednesday night in a game that was a little more nip and tuck than you'd think.
Nip and tuck, that's where she could be too. Some people think she's having surgery.
True. She's getting that BBL.
Yeah.
Yeah, she maybe get BB.
Big old booty. So the Jazz?
So the Jazz.
They beat the Jazz, who
Chet
are
was-
apparently just allowing everybody to dunk everything
Yeah.
everywhere, because they played the Mavs last night, second night of a back-to-back. The Mavs had 18 dunks last night. Chet had 5 of his own against Utah in one of his best games of the season. I think you could call it his best game of the season. It's not his career high. He had his career high against the Warriors in November, but 35-14, a steal or 2 steals, an assist, and 3 blocks for Chet. Big night.
When I was watching the game, you know what stood out most to me?
Hmm.
I think Jay Will is the best teammate in the NBA.
He's a great teammate.
He is doing so much for this team's culture and just like being there. If he's on the court, if he's not on the court, he is the best teammate.
He brings a lot of energy. That's a good point, because you look at the bench and like who's bringing the energy outside of him. I think people like draft off of his energy.
Yeah.
I would say it's like Lindy, no. Jang, no. Hayward, no. Joe, no. Wiggins, no. Kasem Wallace, no. Kenrich, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Bismack. But everybody's kind of drafting off of his energy.
I think so.
And without him, it would be
I think J Dub. as
J-Dub.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a starter.
But I also think that they like that's number 2 is best teammate, like on the team. If I were
Mhm.
to rank them, it's them and their energy together. I mean, at the end press conferences, they're always there. They're pulling teammates into the press conference. They're seemingly pulling random fans into the press conference.
No, that guy.
Not press conference, but
That was-
post interview. I don't know who that
That was-
person was.
That was Adam Flagler, who is their 2-way player.
But pulling them,
National champion Adam Flagler.
From hold on, not from UConn.
No.
How long ago? National championship. I'm telling you, that's the only one I remember. So before that, Baylor. No, that was a long time ago.
I had no. I gun to my head. I wouldn't.
I mean, I'm okay.
It is Baylor.
That
It
This
is Baylor.
Hey, did
Yeah.
he play with
You got it.
Butler and?
Let me see if I can find the
So
team.
let's while we're doing this. So it is
Yeah.
the NCAA tournament. Can we play a quick game?
Jay.
Name the last 5 NCAA champions.
Oh, I can't do this.
Uh-oh.
So last year was UConn.
Yeah.
The year before that,
No.
hold on, it wasn't. Was the year before that?
This is not something that I can do.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. There was a year where North Carolina played.
Oh yeah, was that North Carolina that won it?
Did they win it?
don't know.
Morehead State.
No.
It's my favorite team.
Oh. I thought you were saying they
Of course it is.
I have them going pretty far.
See, I want you to know
Longwood.
that's so funny to me that we have no idea.
No. How?
UConn. Oh, Kansas won it.
Oh yeah, that was
in 22.
Ochai Agbaji's
Mm-hmm.
year.
St. Peter's.
Baylor. It was canceled in 2020
Yeah, I remember
because
that.
of COVID. So we have
St.
to even jump
John's?
further.
And then
John's didn't make
19
it.
would have been.
19 was Virginia.
Oh yeah. That was oh gosh, he used to play for the Thunder. Now he's on the Cavs.
Ty Jerome.
Jerome.
And then Villanova in 2018.
So it wasn't a fan. It was a teammate. But
Adam-
but
Adam Flagler.
an underappreciated teammate.
2021. Yeah.
Pulled him in, making sure everyone's involved. If someone's down and falling, he's the first one over to pull him up.
The vibes around this team, I think, is kind of
Immaculate.
I knew you were going to say
Immaculate
It's pretty
vibes.
great.
Immaculate vibes.
and
God, I know you so
it
well.
pours
I love
out all over the place. Like it's on the court, it's off the court.
Yeah.
Like there were a few moments because you're right. Like it was a closer game off and on than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that is, and the Thunder have kind of had this problem in the last few games where they'll get 7 up, they'll get to 10, and then they just can't. I mean, they ultimately do in the fourth quarter against the Jazz, but
Mm-hmm.
it was hard for them earlier on to like put distance between the two teams. And it was some of that is it doesn't feel like they're making a like, especially their bench. Their bench was not very good against the Jazz.
Yeah.
They were outscored pretty substantially. Colin Sexton was insane.
He was really good.
And
Which caused them to change the lineup after halftime.
yeah, so they put Kaysen out to start the second half instead of Dort.
Mhm.
But whatever. I mean, I'm not worried about that because I think Mark loves Dort more than
Well, they moved Dort to the bench
To
because
come out. Oh,
because
that's right.
Colin
Yeah, yeah.
Sexton's coming off the bench.
that's right.
They moved him to the bench as like almost like a nod to Lou. Like, hey, we need this guy.
Yep.
We can't stop this particular guy. We need you to actually be the one to guard him.
Yeah. Gosh, I totally.
So it felt
blanked
like
on that.
it felt like a demotion at the
But
time.
actually, it was.
but it was
yeah,
not. It
yeah.
was
Assignment.
it was like we need you to stop this guy. He's literally the only guy on the
And he
other
didn't.
team that we can't stop.
But Chet was. I think it was his best game. Like I don't care if it was his career high or not. He had 4 different dunks, and you posted them on Twitter. Like
Mhm. 5.
5. One of them was maybe the most impressive dunk for the Thunder all year. The one that he
poster?
reared back and
Yeah.
is that Taylor Hendricks? Who was it that? Yeah,
He got Taylor Hendricks pretty good.
he got Kessler pretty good, which feels fantastic.
He
Can you
got-
believe he went to the World Cup with the United States of America?
Remember when
How much better would that team have been if Chet went instead of Walker Kessler? I'm not saying that was an option for them necessarily.
Yeah,
but like
it wouldn't have
watching them
happened.
play. But I'm like, I mean,
It's crazy. There's been some crazy stuff with Team USA.
that one's up there.
That one's up there.
Christian Laettner being on the Dream Team is probably number 1
That's
to
an-
me over Shaq.
This one might be worse.
Pretty close.
Is
I
that,
know Laettner was blah blah blah.
No, I'm not talking about Laettner.
I am. I'm still a little bit.
Jay's
heated
still
about
talking
that.
about Laettner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not over.
I get all of the reasons, but you want to talk about somebody that doesn't seem to fit with the rest of that team? Christian Laettner.
Yeah. Well, J-Dub didn't get invited to this camp of like 40 guys from the
that's-
USA.
yeah,
is
that's
a
insane.
Because J-Dub's a
snub.
star.
It's
a
crazy.
star.
It's crazy. Let it
Yeah.
not be forgotten that he didn't get
He
invited.
will not forget it. His and one, it was he's one of those, and I think it was Vicini who talked about it in that thing that he did the other day.
Mm-hmm.
He was just talking about the competitive nature of J-Dub. That is like, even at Santa Clara, he's like, he's just competitive,
Mm-hmm.
like almost unlike many other players, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that was really poorly said as I was trying to pull every
Understood.
single word out. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
We got
But
you.
watching him celebrate and the enthusiasm he brings, like, I know this is hyperbolic and maybe it's overreactionary, whatever. This combination of guys, if you look at the top 3, 4, 5 guys, it's pretty flawless. Like, is the way they fit together, even personality wise. I think that's why Giddey feels like it feels like a wrench.
Like it stands out.
Because it's just like, and it's not anything, honestly, I'm not trying to get back into this, but it's not anything I don't think Giddey's necessarily doing. Although sometimes, like, he takes weird shots that trying to fit in the rhythm of the game. But it's like, you look at Dub, you look at Chet, and there's that lineup there running out in the second half that was just, you're like, oh, do this one more.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Wiggins, Chet, J-Dub, Shea, and I think
Kaysen
Kaysen was the fifth.
Yeah.
And you're watching that lineup, and the ball is just flying all around the court. They're playing defensively at a high level. They're playing offensively at an elite level. Like, you just watch that, and it's like a beautiful composition of music coming together perfectly.
I think that's why Gordon Hayward has had such a hard time, or it's taken so long for him to feel comfortable with all these guys, because he gets in there and he's like, you don't want to mess it up. Because everything works so
his whole
well.
tenure so far for the Thunder is just don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Like, don't do anything that stands out.
I loved those 2 threes he took in that Jazz game.
He was pretty
They were
good.
He was good.
Yeah.
And it, like, you saw it and you're like, okay, this makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you just play like this, don't think about it, just play basketball.
It would be so hard to come into a well-oiled machine and be like, hey,
Give me the ball.
hey, like, fit me in too.
Yeah.
Like, that would be so difficult. And I appreciate that he's not trying to, like, come in and be like, we're changing to how I do it. He's fitting into what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never been a role player before, probably ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Think about
they lost a championship at Butler. He was not a role player.
Yeah, not a role player.
Who'd they lose to? Do you remember? I think it was Duke. Keep going. Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna know.
It's just fun. I'm just trying to prove how little we pay attention to, other than draft stuff. You obviously
very little attention to who's winning these games, except for last night. Last night was really
That
fun.
was awesome.
the Oakland, Kentucky game.
That was electric.
What's his name? Golke.
Yeah.
We already had questions about, maybe we should draft this guy at the end of the first round so he can come in. No, don't. He himself said post game, I know I'm not going to the NBA. He literally said that.
Yeah.
He's not going to the NBA.
No, he's not going. He's almost 25.
That's awesome for
That's
him.
wild.
Yeah.
Did you know Oakland University is in a suburb outside of Detroit? That's not Oakland, California.
Is it the Oakland that Bill Russell played for?
Yeah, I think so. If I remember that right.
Back when you watched. I know it's not on a ton of it. It's not.
I think I remember when I was watching Bill Russell's
I think I
tape the
remember
other
that.
day.
Yeah. Well,
I know it's not a large sample size as far as shots, but
Mm-hmm.
Hayward is shooting 58% from the 3-point line for the Thunder.
Feels sustainable.
He hadn't taken very many.
He has not.
He's been
Bill
hitting.
Russell went to the University of San Francisco.
Oh, how about
that one is a suburb outside of Milwaukee.
I knew it was that area,
Yeah.
but not apparently where Oakland is.
The other thing, when I was talking about how high the vibes are, this is the highest, and I think has surpassed the last highest vibe team, which was Kevin Durant, Russ, James Harden, pizza roll era Thunder.
Wow.
Mom made pizza rolls. It's I think higher than that.
That was fun.
The vibes are so good.
It's just, It's just fun. Like it's
Yeah.
so fun to watch this team play.
There's no weird power dynamic yet, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes, that killed the vibe.
Yeah.
Well, here the thing that kills the vibe isn't here yet, and it's expectations.
Yeah.
Which will happen next year. So whatever happens in the playoffs this year, they lose in round 1, 2, they lose in the Western Conference Finals, whatever. Well, next year, the expectations are going to ratchet up, and it's going to be, okay, maybe we're at this point in the season, and they've only won, 40 games or something instead. And it's like, oh no, what's wrong with the Thunder? Everything okay? And they get to the, playoffs, they're the 4 seed or something instead of the 1 seed. And it's like, man, this has been a rough season, and then it's like, if we don't beat the 5 seed, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
All of that will be here soon. But now this is like the fun part of being a fan. Like the ride up is so fun. When you get to the top and there's like pressure, the fun, it's more difficult for fans to have fun with it. But yes, enjoy this.
Enjoy this.
Whatever happens in the playoffs, just enjoy it. Because
Enjoy it,
that like there's not true expectations yet, which they'll be here because this team is that good.
I'm so ready for how loud it's going to be in the building for the playoffs.
I can't wait.
It's going to be. It just hasn't been that way for so long.
I want to look around and like everyone has blood dripping out of their ears.
I'm ready.
Andrew, let me ask you a side question. I was just cruising.
I thought you were going to say science question.
Let me ask you a science question. I'm just cruising through the rankings,
Cruising for a bruising.
standings, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there is 2.5 games separating the Golden State Warriors from the Houston Rockets. 3 games in the loss column. The Rockets are 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah.
They've won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
While at the same time, the Warriors are 5-5
Yep.
over their last 10. Is it at all possible that the Houston Rockets make the play-in and the Warriors find themselves on the outside looking in?
It's possible. Still 2.5 is
A lot.
a lot, but it's
So,
not impossible.
Using the same kind of line of thinking,
Uh-huh.
the Thunder have a 1.5 game lead over the 3 seed Timberwolves, a
Mhm.
2 game in the loss column. How do you feel about the Thunder keeping 1, 2?
Well, their saving grace is that the Nuggets and the Timberwolves play 2 more times.
Thank you.
That is pretty awesome.
So that their 2 losses will happen for sure.
One of the way.
And it's likely that the Nuggets will beat the Timberwolves 2 more times. So I think they'll stay 1 or 2, would be my guess. The Thunder do have a tough stretch coming up.
Yeah.
So they play Toronto tonight. in
Not the
Toronto.
tough stretch. That's not it.
Not the tough stretch yet.
Currently favored by 15.5 points
Yep.
against the Raptors tonight.
Yeah, who are you scared of? Scotty Barnes?
They have
He sucks.
fallen off a cliff, the Raptors.
Yeah, they've been pretty bad.
They've lost the last 5 to not very good teams. Magic a couple times, but Detroit once.
They've lost 8 in a row,
Speaking of
which is a scary team to play, by the way. The teams that like have
none to lose.
have lost so many in a row
Yeah.
and like have talented guys.
We've been there. We've been the team.
Also, who's going to exchange their jersey with Grady Dick tonight?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, man.
Think
Wow.
about it. Think about it. But they got Milwaukee Sunday. The Pelicans, who just lost Brandon Ingram last night.
Yeah, did they get any results?
Not yet. It did not look good. If you watched it, like it looks like he hyperextended his left knee. I don't know how like we'll know today how bad the injury is. It's unlikely that he'll be playing with them on Tuesday. When the Thunder are there. The Thunder play this Houston team that we're talking about at home Wednesday night of next week. So that would be an interesting one. And then they have Phoenix on Friday at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, New York, Philly, Boston, Indy.
Ooh.
I mean,
That's a 2-week schedule. That's a 2 weeks.
it's a tough 2 weeks. And then they finish the season. Charlotte, Sacramento, Spurs, Bucks, Mavs.
So there's only
And that
two.
might be- Sorry, go ahead.
This is important. There's only 2 candidates really on our team.
Mm-hmm.
One, like Giddy Dick, That's not the guy you want out there trading jerseys with.
Definitely
I don't
not.
think. I don't think he's thinking I need to be out there
Making
making
jokes.
that trade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Joe, like mine, Joe Dick.
Joe Dick.
That's the only one there's really nothing else. I mean, there's Dick Waters.
Okay, that's actually it. Dick Waters. Okay,
But
that's
you
it.
have the third at the end of it. Dick Water. Maybe he'll like use his hand to cover up the third. So Dick Waters.
Yeah.
But Lindy he won't even be wearing a jersey. He'll like have to go to the locker room and
He'll
get
wear
a jersey.
Yeah, no. He'll be
Worth
worth
it.
a jersey. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a Toronto resident came to our fair city, Mr. Drake. I don't know.
2 nights.
And 2 nights, and he was talking at the concert about how much Shay loves the city because his brother Shay, loves the city, Oklahoma. That's why I was excited to be here. Pretty cool.
Was J. Cole with them as well?
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Did you go to that, Taylor?
No.
They were so expensive. Tickets were so expensive.
Tickets at concerts are astronomical right now.
Yeah.
They're just a lot.
You remember
of
when
money.
you could go to a concert for less than
Dude,
$100?
do you know how much the Sunny Day real estate tickets are? $40.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to that one.
$40.
Well,
Sunday
Seems-
real estate?
Sunny Day real estate. That
But,
would have been from your time.
No, it was not.
All right, I have a question
It
for you
was.
guys.
I knew all music in my time.
How many 50-win teams have there been in Thunder history?
Hmm.
Or at least how many teams, I'll put this caveat, how many teams were at least on pace to win 50 games?
On
But-
pace.
but on pace,
Oh,
but
what?
didn't include ones that
because
didn't.
all right. See, I know what you're saying. So that puts the 2020 team in there.
Yeah. Because people totally forget that had COVID not been a thing, that team would have easily won 50 games.
Let's say 5.
I want to say 6.
I want to say 4,
Seven.
including this one.
Seven.
Seven teams. And now we are going to
I
do.
want, let's not ignore that I want.
You did win
Okay.
that.
I have a
Andrew?
trivia question for every 50-win team. So prepare yourselves.
Ooh.
From the 09-10 season, their first 50-win season,
Was that? I think that's Mom Made Pizza Rolls.
I'll never forget
Yeah.
that season.
Westbrook averaged 16, 5, and 8 in the regular season. What did he average in the playoffs?
How
against
many
the
did you
Lakers?
say?
16, 5, and 8.
16, 5, and 8.
He averaged like I want to say 20.
That's 27.
Six.
Yeah,
Yeah.
26, 27 points.
Yeah, that's too much. 26 and 6 against the Lakers.
20 points.
20 points.
Okay.
20.
We're kind of
Six,
you've
20,
set this up
and
kind of
6.
like we're gonna go higher than everything because
So you're thinking that someone can make a jump. And
I'm
be
just-
ready for the playoffs.
We're just talking. I don't know.
I just remember Russ being amazing and like that was his true leap was that playoff
Yeah.
year. against
Well,
the
he was only
Lakers.
averaging 16 points per game during
yeah,
the
that's
regular
hard
season.
to imagine.
You know,
not the most. It was not that series, but the one next year where he had the shot on where he got fouled. I think it was Ramon Sessions fouled him and he did the
Oh,
little scoop
yeah.
shot.
no, that was that year.
Was that
No,
that the
was
year where we
I'm
lost?
pretty sure.
Was that the year?
I
They
thought it
lost
was the
in
year they
Game
beat the
7?
Lakers. That happened. I think that's
maybe,
right.
Yeah, maybe that is
Was
right.
that the year
Yeah.
that we lost in Game 7 to the Paul Gasol like tip back in?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, that string of game like years was the best because we got out in the first round, and then the next year we beat them in the first round and lost in the second, and then we went to the third, and we just moved up every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
Correction, it was a game 6 because we only won.
Was it?
It was
two
game
games.
6.
And well, okay, it's game 6.
It had to have been that year because they didn't play the Nuggets in 11.
I said Lakers.
I mean, the Lakers. I mean, they played the Nuggets. Sorry. They played Nuggets in the first round, Memphis second round, Dallas third round.
How
So-
about that? Yeah.
So it had to have been that year.
Wow.
Wow.
And Kobe called Katie and Russ some MFers.
Nice.
10
But in a
11.
good way.
In 10 11,
Uh-huh. The positive.
of the regular rotation players in the playoffs, who shot the best from 3
That year,
in 10 11
10 11.
Oh my gosh.
In the playoffs?
in the playoffs?
Hmm.
Some of these are like really hard. Like this one is really hard.
Tavo Cephalosha.
Tavos Cephalosha shot 15% in the playoffs that year.
So not
Well,
him.
so maybe he's 2 or 3.
on that team. Yeah.
I would have said KD, but that's not it either.
KD shot 33% in the playoffs that season.
Who were the role?
In the playoffs,
It wasn't Harden.
It wasn't Daquan Cook yet.
Daquan Cook was on that team. He shot 34% from three, and
Was it-
James Harden shot 30% from three.
Not Surge.
Would it have been?
Surge didn't
Serge
take
wasn't
threes.
shooting yet.
It wouldn't have been Russ.
Russ shot 29% from three.
God,
Man, some
Who are the role players on that team?
man,
A hint: this guy is on the coaching staff for the Thunder.
Eric Maynard.
Maynard?
Eric Maynard shot 36% from
Dave
three.
Bliss.
Dave Bliss was 45% from three. No, Eric Maynard shot 36% from three. That was the best shooting percentage
That's
for the team in the
amazing.
playoffs.
That is
Listening-
amazing.
The best.
listening to those numbers, I like this team so much more.
Different era of
Yeah.
basketball too, though. But yes,
Yeah.
They are-
This was not the 3-point era
it's a
yet.
different. It's a different.
It's on the cusp
Brand of
But
basketball.
it's on the cusp
Do you
of the
remember-
3-point era.
Do you
It was the
remember when
Warriors?
KD?
Warriors changed the whole game.
Yeah.
It was like
14, 15, 16.
yeah, really I think the Rockets changed it.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors
Yeah.
did. The Rockets were the team that took threes more so, like the volume.
You remember when they missed
Ratchet
like
it up.
50 against the Warriors in Game 7?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It feels
Yeah.
so good.
Barkley was so excited.
Do you remember when KD got his first 50, 40, 90? And it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
It was
Because
a
no
huge
one
deal.
had got a 50, 40, 90 since Nash did or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now it feels like a lot of players are pretty close to 50, 40, 90 or getting.
Well,
there.
and it's interesting because we asked Mark about this Wednesday, and we talked to the players about it too, just about the efficiency of the team. And it's all about, for them, it's like process oriented. They're like, obviously it's a talent thing, but then it's also, we actually know what a good shot is. And like everybody on the team knows what a good shot is. And I think that is partly like,
Hold on. Are you
the
saying
three-
Scott Brooks didn't know what a good shot was?
well, I think that like
Such a
it's
different brand of
the
basketball.
I know.
3-point
Isn't that crazy to
era
think
paired
about?
with analytics.
Paired with also two, at that point, three relatively high usage guys between Harden. I mean, Harden was obviously second kind
Yeah.
of tier on that at that point, but Russ, it was just so different. It was a your turn, my turn way of basketball.
Yeah.
And this is, I know Shea still probably has a high usage and he gets a
He
lot
takes
of
a
shots.
ton
He's-
of ice. He has tons of
but
isolation.
man, it just feels different.
because there's still some movement, even if Shea's in ISO. Like there's
And
still
Shea's
movement
one
and
of them that,
options.
you know, will move and screen and
Yeah. And back then it was like a KD ISO or a Russ ISO. Everyone's just standing there. It's almost like none of the other players mattered.
But like the analytics and the 3-point shot weren't that prevalent then.
Yeah.
It feels like it should have been, but it wasn't quite yet. Like the players themselves hadn't bought into it. You know, teams, I mean, this current Thunder team is like fully bought into it.
Yeah.
And they fully understand like what is a good and what is a bad
I
shot.
also think at that
what
time,
season
vers-
was that we just talked about?
10,
10,
11.
10, 11. Also, then we were drafting different kinds of players. Like we were drafting like athletes
Yeah.
that like didn't have shots that like, and now it's like we're just looking for a completely different kind of player.
Yeah.
I think.
So
They're looking for more skill.
and if you're going to ask this question, I'm sorry, I'm trying to avoid those things. But for the regular season that year,
hmm
the top 3-point shooters. So it's the only 3 players that shot over 35%. KD shot 35% from the 3-point line that year. Eric Maynard at 38.5%. Daquan Cook at 42%.
hmm
And then Royal Ivy at 43.8%, which was, I mean, almost.
in like no
No
minutes,
time.
probably.
So if you look at that compared to this year's team, right? So you've got
It's crazy.
how many guys shooting over 35%, which was KD.
Oh, over
Oh, no,
35%. It's like 10.
all of them almost.
That's I love that.
how many guys shooting like 38 to 45%?
It's like
It's
8
like
or 9.
6.
It's like 8 or 9 that are shooting like
38 and up.
38 and up. I think it's 9.
No,
That's it.
I'm telling you, the vibes. The vibes.
So,
are the vibes.
Shea is the
That's all-
12th.
That's all vibes.
Vibes.
Now, some of this is, I understand it's not always low, you know, like it's not always a ton of attempts, But Shea is the 12th best percentage-wise 3-point shooter that the team has had all year.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting 37.6% from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
You have in that top 12, you do have Davis Bertans
And Trey Mann.
and Lindy Waters shooting 4, 5, and 6. Aaron Wiggins shooting. I think of like legitimate guys that actually have played good minutes, who have played all season. He's shooting 49% from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
The whole year.
The whole year.
Wow.
1.5 attempts per game.
And it's easy to figure out his percentage because he's taken exactly 100 threes.
He's made 49 of 100 threes. Wait,
Mhm.
Good math. Great math.
thank you.
Dub is shooting 44.4%.
It's that one is like, hey,
Jub.
can we please get
Jub.
Jub some more?
What's his
threes?
volume?
Please.
3.5 a game.
3.5. Make it 8.
Oof.
Make it 12.
But also,
He's so efficient.
He's so good at everything.
Why are you
It's
so
not-
efficient?
like 3.5? He can take more than 3.5 for sure. But
His
he
free
just
throw.
makes the right offensive decision every time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't really want him to think about, oh, I need to be getting more threes up. I kind of like that he just
I mean, he's a
he's
3-level
like
scorer.
in a flow state every time he's on offense.
He's a 3-level scorer. 71% from 0 to 3 feet, 47 from 3 to 10, 52% from 10 to 16, and 47.8 from 16 to 3-point line, and then 44% from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good across the board. He is one of the best 3-level scorers in the NBA.
Yeah.
And you should listen to Slam and Jam today. I had Vicini on. We recorded it last night.
Ooh.
And I posed the question to him that McKellar and I talked about. Which players
Oh, that's good.
would you take over Jalen
From the last.
like 3 or 4 drafts? And
Oh, tune in.
Oh,
Tune in.
Whoa.
it's already in
I
your
still missed-
podcast.
I still
catcher.
missed the intro.
A little
I know y'all had
pickle.
I know you had some internal conversations that said, "Hey, intros lose people,
Mhm.
so let's stop doing the whether
Mhm.
you're mowing your yard or
Mhm.
flipping your flapjacks."
I miss it too.
Because every time I listened to that, I was mowing my yard during that season.
Were you flipping flapjack?
I was flipping flapjacks.
I wish I love flipping some flapjacks.
I do too. I enjoy flipping flapjacks.
I'm gonna break the griddle back out maybe tomorrow. What do you think?
You're gonna break the griddles back out?
I don't.
That was a stretch.
So good. It got there. Cross the finish line for me. It got there.
Eventually got there.
Yeah.
Who did you redraw for? Who's the team?
Tune in?
Tune in.
Tune in. Oh my god.
Okay, back to our trivia.
Okay.
From the 11-12 season, this is the finals run. How many threes did Serge Ibaka take in 20 games? They played 20 games in that finals run. How many threes did he take?
I'm going to say 7.
I'm gonna say 4.
I'm gonna say 20.
It is 4. Taylor got it on the nose.
Awesome.
How many did he make out of those 4?
4.
0.
Yeah, 0.
He made 1.
He
It's funny
he didn't
because
start shooting.
Okay, so what percentage did he shoot?
That's 1 of 4, so that's 1
25%.
quarter, so 26.7%.
Close enough.
It's funny because that year was the year that people are like, man, they should have just played Serge at the 5. And people think about this like when people like are thinking about it, they're thinking about this stretch 5 that block shots. He just stretched to the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
was
not
just
like
pick and pop like inside the 3-point
It's not
line.
like he would have created like so much more space because he didn't take threes. I don't even know what the context of those 4 threes are. Were they heaves? Like what was going on? You know?
Would have been better than Kendrick Perkins though
Yes.
against the Heat.
Definitely. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
When people think
he
about
wasn't the guy he ended up becoming
Yeah.
for another few seasons.
Yeah. 12-13.
Okay.
This is the 4th 50-win team for the Thunder.
Ugh,
How
this
many-
was the year.
This
That was
was
the year.
This was like the disaster. Russ blows out his knee because of
Pat Bev.
Of Pat Bev. Just awful. Okay, Reggie Jackson. How many points did Reggie
Didn't they
Jackson
win
average?
60 this year?
Yeah, they were. This was like
Maybe the best regular season team of Thunder history.
Dude,
plus
this was
10, plus 10 net rating. Like the most dominant team in the league. Like just a
Oof.
unbelievable team.
KD MVP?
No, that's 14 because
KD MVP is the next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But how many points did Reggie Jackson average in his 33 minutes per game for
Oh,
that
gosh.
for that team in the playoffs.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go 12.
No, I'm gonna go 18.
I'm going to go right in the middle, 15.
13.9.
Yes.
Oh.
Closer.
I
Yeah.
technically
Nice.
win.
No, you went over. He wins.
Oh, you're right.
Price is right rule.
Damn.
Yeah. But, it was like, of course they lost in the second round whenever Reggie was like one of the guys that was
Well, especially as you've watched
take
his
over.
career kind of continue on.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah,
I get it.
he's exactly kind of who he was.
Yeah.
Dude, that team would have won the championship if
I
Russ
know.
didn't get hurt.
Yeah, they would.
That was the best team.
Yeah, they were really good. They're really good.
Let's go to the next.
13-14. Who played the fifth most minutes
Was
on
that Plagues of Egypt?
the
Yeah.
13-14? No,
No.
Plagues of Egypt was the 14-15 season. So this is 13-14. This is the year that they went to the West Finals and Serge got hurt against the
Spurs.
the Clippers game, the car pod that we did
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the crazy Game 5 Clippers game.
Yep.
And they brought in Carrie Hilson to help him back to life. He was dating her at the time.
Yeah,
Who?
Carrie
Carrie
Surge.
Hilson?
Carrie Hilson. Carrie.
Isn't
Carrie
that-
something.
Was that her name?
Isn't that right?
I think it's Carrie Hilson.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely.
He was dating. her.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to come and get him back to feel better.
Oh,
She was like,
okay.
okay. So
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's exactly what happened.
anyway, that's Serge, returns in the Western Conference Finals.
Mhm.
Whenever it just felt like he was going to, it felt like he certainly was going to be out for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's that year. Who played the fifth most minutes on that team?
All right, so you've got this regular season or playoffs?
Playoffs.
Is Derek Fisher still on this team?
Derek Fisher is on this team.
Okay.
Is that your guess?
I bet he's going to be my guess. Derek Fisher.
Karan Butler.
Taylor?
God.
Do you have a guess?
I'll see how long you guys are gonna let it.
I could hear birds chirping in the background.
I know. Everyone check their podcast. Like, did it pause?
Did they freeze?
Derek Fisher, sure. I can't remember
Right.
the role players on this team.
Jay, you win.
Karan.
Karan Butler, he had averaged 23 minutes per game in the playoffs. He played almost 500 minutes for them in the playoffs. He averaged 6 points on 32% from the field.
Dude, that's how did he played that many minutes? I have like zero memories of
I
Karan.
do.
Butler.
No. I do. You know why? Because there was a series. I think it was. Did they play the Grizzlies that year? Probably because they played them every year.
Yeah, they played in the first round.
Where
They
we were
played
like,
Memphis.
and I don't know if Scott actually did
Memphis.
it, but we were like, you have to sub. Like Karan has to play instead of Tabo
yeah,
because Tabo was brutal.
Tabo was
in
really
that playoff
bad.
series.
yeah. Tabo. It's funny because like Tabo shot better from the field than he did.
I know. It just felt like I don't know. Was
It
that
just-
that year probably that I'm thinking of, or am I
Yeah.
just making stuff up?
Yeah. He only played 1 year here. Karan did. It was not.
Are you
Not correct.
serious?
Yeah.
1 year.
He did not.
But what a year.
You talk about the fatal flaws of that team. I'm like, the fact that you were.
He didn't even
dependent
play a
upon-
year. He played just like a few months here.
Here's the guys that you. This is why the roster construction was limited. Derek Fisher, Karan Butler,
Yeah.
Ronnie Brewer,
Ronnie Brewer,
Randy Foy.
Randy Foy.
Those
Yeah.
are guys we added on the buyout market that we
Yeah.
were like,
I thought Randy
this is-
Foy was gonna change it around.
this
for
is
us.
it.
I thought Randy Foy was gonna
Because
hit.
We watched
three-
Randy Foy kill the Thunder
Yeah.
from the 3-point line for
Yeah.
a decade.
He
it
was
felt
so
like.
bad with us. He didn't make
useless.
crap.
Was this also by this time we're past when Pau Gasol didn't want to come here because we didn't have Boba T, correct?
So I think
No, that's this
Or
summer.
was that next summer? I
When
think
did-
it's around that time.
I thought it was opera.
It's opera.
Yeah, opera, and then
Boba T was
Was that was the same cycle? I think.
no
wasn't it?
Boba T was Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, after he'd left.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
'cause
right.
he said
yeah, we
after
didn't
he
have
had Boba Tea
opera
before.
Yeah, we didn't have opera, and then
That's where we
and-
made the Paul George chicken fried rice shirt from.
Yeah, and then we didn't have Boba Tea. Yes,
That's right.
you're right.
That's exactly right.
You're correct.
So he went to Chicago in 14-15 was when Powell went to went to that
Mistake.
team. So it was
for everybody.
that next summer.
Because
Yeah.
Powell was not very like it. He just disappeared after he went to Chicago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah, that team, the top. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy who the top 9 guys in the playoffs were.
I mean,
Kevin, Russ, Serge, obviously, Reggie Jackson, and then it's Karan Butler, Kendrick Perkins, a young Steven Adams, Derek Fisher, and Tabas Evolution.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
yeah.
But how are we surprised? Like it actually is even more like spectacular that they made it as far as they did.
Yeah.
The fact that roster beat those Clippers teams with JJ Redick and Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, like that in itself should be why Chris Paul is never thought of in the way that he should be.
But it's also just talks about it's also how good KD and Russ were.
KD, yeah, they
I
were.
mean,
yeah,
You're
they
right.
were-
I mean,
they were
they
unbelievable.
the top is all we needed. It could have been them two and anyone else, and I think we'd have the same
You're
level
right.
of success.
You're right.
Well, and also look at what they just did in that regular season, which was like they just destroyed all regular season. It was
Mhm.
such a different era of basketball.
It was a very different era
Yeah.
of basketball for sure. Missed the playoffs and did not have 50 wins, although they had like 45 wins,
How'd they end up with that?
which is insane,
Yeah,
by the way.
that is insane.
But they did not make it, did not get 50
Sebastian
wins.
Telfair,
Seabass.
he was on that team.
He was. He was at media day. That was so weird. 14-15. Or I mean 15-16, I'm sorry. 15-16 season. How many threes did Serge take and make during the playoffs in the 15-16 run that lasted through
How many
Do you want
games?
percentage?
Game 7 of the West Finals?
No number. How many?
How
many
many?
he took?
Yeah, how many did he take and how many did and then you can just tell me how many he made too.
I'm going to go. He took 18 and he made 10.
I'm going 12. He made 12 of 29.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. He took 35 the entire playoffs.
The entire playoffs. So it's in 18 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 35, and he made 9.
I'm really disappointed in Luke specifically because he took 69 threes.
Oh,
He took 69 in 18.
And he made
games.
30,
Nice.
and he made 31. He was 44.9% from 3.
So that was the year where it was
With-
all of a sudden like, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
He has it.
Yeah,
He-
but
Here
then
he is.
in the Golden State series, he couldn't make anything. Will you look up what in those really important games, he was bad.
everybody was bad. Game 6, like KD disappeared. Russ
Everybody was bad. Let me look
like-
up his game logs. Okay. Yeah, against Golden State in the last, I mean, he had 16 points. He was 2 of 5 from 3 in the game 7. He was 1 of 6 from 3 in game 6. He had 13 points. 13 again in game 5. 17 and 7 in game 3. 14. Yeah, I mean, he was actually pretty good
Yeah.
in that series.
So no excuses, Katie.
I mean, none. Katie just had to be even just slightly below average
and-
for him,
and in that-
they would have won.
And in those games, each game, Russ had 60 shots.
Okay, and then the last team that I was kind of alluding to that I think they've become like this forgotten team a little bit in Thunder lore. Some of it is because there was a worldwide pandemic that happened during this. But in 1920,
1920.
in
1920.
1920, did you know the Thunder were playing basketball?
I completely forgotten that team.
2019-2020, the Thunder would have won 50 games had they got to play a full season.
Chris Paul bought everyone's suits.
He did.
It was great.
It was a delightful team. How many players averaged double digits in the playoff series against the Rockets for that team?
How many averaged?
Averaged
5.
double digits.
I'm gonna go 3.
double digits in the playoffs.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
double digits.
Average double
against
digits in the
Rocks.
playoffs.
Chris Paul, Lou Dort,
Shea.
Shea,
Steve.
Gallo.
Did Steve get double digits?
No,
I'm going 3.
I'm gonna go 5.
The answer is 6.
Okay.
Ooh.
SGA averaged 16 points. Chris Paul was at 21. Dennis Schroeder
It's a forgotten team.
at 17. Gallo at 15. Steve-O at 10. And Dort at 12.
So Steve-O got 10.
Yep.
Gallo.
Who
is
got
that?
Got him.
Danilo Gallinari.
Oh, okay.
Gallon Mom.
Nick Gallo.
Nick Gallo.
Didn't you remember he was on the team?
I'm telling you right now, I would pay good money to see Nick Gallo on an NBA court.
I was going to say
playing basketball.
You hear that, Nick?
Come on.
I
Get
thought
out
you were
there.
going to say to go
I
back to
would.
that time. Like, I'd pay
No.
any amount of money not to.
Yeah, you just say
Terrible.
there's not a lot I wouldn't pay
Yeah,
to not. go
Lord.
back.
Except remember that lead up to when The Last Dance started? God, that was so exciting.
That I've been listening to some podcasts about it, but how that time period is just memory hold. Like, no one wants to think about it.
Yeah.
Never talk about it. It's
Yeah.
just gone.
I had some good times during
Yeah.
that time.
I
You
had
don't-
some
you
people in
didn't.
my life that were like, it was my favorite. Like, we didn't go anywhere. We just sat
just
at
went on
home.
It's like,
walks.
you don't remember it correctly.
I was like, oh, you're talking about when I was a ball of stress for, I don't know, a year and a half?
yeah. When it's
every-
like, is my life ever going to be the same again?
Everyone developed a
that's true.
drinking problem. Like,
Like anxiety, loneliness, drinking,
alcohol sales skyrocketed.
I mean,
overdoses of drugs.
Yeah.
Like,
They literally changed laws so you could bring alcoholic drinks home.
Yes.
Yeah, they
From
did.
restaurants. Yes, you could get it to go margarita.
liquor stores all of a
Yeah.
sudden open on Sundays, open
Yeah.
later. Then all of the laws went away.
Yeah. That
It's
was
wild.
What
Yeah.
a great time.
What an
What a
awesome
time.
Just incredible longing.
Just putting 10-hour
world-
days into Animal Crossings. Fantastic.
The world almost crumbled.
Yeah.
But we were on the verge, because not to mention like all of the other peripheral things that were so
Dude,
awful.
Yeah,
It was,
going
yeah.
on in the
it
world.
was a bad time. It was a totally awful time. Okay. That's all.
God.
wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Memory lane.
Little trivia there for the 50-win teams, because of this one we could add it to the list
We're added
here in
Not yet.
here in a few days.
Don't jinx them.
I can't believe it.
Can you
I mean,
believe they're? I mean,
It's awesome.
50 wins is a huge accomplishment, and it's going to happen soon. It could happen by the time that we do the pod on Monday or sometime next week. But
So they play the Raptors tonight. Who knows? Milwaukee on Sunday night, which Milwaukee, it feels like they're going to be close to full strength. Like Giannis was back last night.
Yeah.
Dame obviously is
they've
back.
been playing pretty good.
Middleton came back, and I don't know if they're just keeping him on kind of like a
I don't know.
every other game kind of thing.
Every
But
Middleton is missing.
I can
Yeah.
see Brooke Lopez having 25 and 25 against this team,
Wow.
but I mean, they can beat them.
Eventually, they will get to 50 wins. They're not going to lose that.
No.
many games.
I'm saying, do they get it by Monday though?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But okay, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get some advice.
Oh,
Or are we going to Deshaun?
I don't have a good one. I was just going to talk about how we poop and pee.
okay.
All right, and we're back after that quick break.
I thought you were talking with Kate Middleton.
Let's give out advice. Someone reached out to me and they need advice. He says, my wife and I are expecting our first kid.
My wife and I.
Expecting our first kid. And we've just found out the gender. It's a baby girl. How should we reveal to our close family members? We don't want to do a lame gender reveal or anything like that.
Hmm.
Also, most of the family has been referring to the child as a boy during the pregnancy.
Oh,
Any advice would be appreciated. This is what I would say. What I'm going to tell you is you can do a lot of things, but one thing's not to do is anything that requires you to do something athletic.
yeah. Don't hit a
Don't hit a golf ball.
a golf
Don't
ball
hit
that
a
will
baseball.
explode. Yeah.
Don't like shoot a skeet because you're going to miss it, and then you've ruined the surprise. That's the thing.
Or hit it off a tee.
Don't hit it off a tee. Don't hit it. I think even then you can mess it up. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
I'm such a fuddy duddy when it comes to this. I'm just like, just don't do like it doesn't have to be gigantic. Like
Yeah.
I think the best ones I think
Cake.
is like cake.
Yeah,
You
we
cut
cut-
into
yeah,
it
that's
and
a-
it's a color.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cake. My sister, and I thought this was great, ordered a pizza, gave the and on the pizza was spelled out the letter. It was a G. And it was great.
A guy.
Fine. Simple.
it's very
Said,
confusing.
It's a guy.
Sorry.
No, it was said it's going to be a B or a G, boy or girl. And
Okay.
it was a big
What
G.
pizza company did that?
I think like Marco's Pizza did it. And
That's-
if you talk to them, they'll do
I mean,
it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't know either.
Who
My
has
sister-
to talk to them though?
That,
You just send
she
them the
had
envelope?
a friend do it, and they took an envelope up there and gave it to him and said, "You need to put this letter." So her best friend knew and did it. And so simple is easy.
And
They're
pepper-
classics
and-
for a reason.
And pepperoni.
Pepperonis.
And pepperoni, do that.
I've got one. If you want to go viral, okay, dude, this is the husband, correct? Or the
This
the
is-
daddy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, daddy, you have your entire family come over to your house, daddy, and they don't know where you are. Where you are is you're in the back because you're getting changed into a big baby outfit, which is basically just you wearing no clothes with a diaper on. The diaper is going to be the color of the gender, so pink. Also, you're going to put a bow in your hair and you're going to put lipstick on. You are going to be the reveal. So everyone gathers around, your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents, everyone. And then you crawl out in a big baby costume and you say, "Cuckoo caca." And maybe you pee. the
Now it's
diaper.
time for some Twitter questions.
But you're a big baby girl, and that's the reveal.
You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Now let's get down to it.
Great question. Hey, here is the first Twitter question. Comes
Jimmy.
from at I am Kev Bot, who wants to know, what is your power ranking of your personal favorite players on the team? Not how good they are, but who you enjoy watching the most.
Is this a secret? Why are you talking so quietly?
Because
What?
it's a good question.
Who's my personal favorite?
Here's my top two:
Mm-hmm.
J-Dub, J-Will, because of the
Big
vibes,
fan of
like
the
what I
J-Ones, huh?
talked about earlier.
Yeah. They're
Immaculate.
great. They're great.
It's hard not to say J-Dub. I like Chet. I like Shay.
Yeah.
How to rank them? 1A, 1B, 1C, which is still a ranking in its own
It
because
is.
C is your third.
Who are
Why
your
not?
favorite role players to watch?
Not Lindy,
Why do you have to do that?
just because I knew it'd bother you.
It bothers me a lot.
It bothers you.
Bothers me too.
Favorite
You're
role-
off the pod.
Why?
Aaron Wiggins, man, number one.
What
I
do you-
love watching
But what do you
Aaron
got to take? Why do you got to take a shot at Lindy?
I'm just kidding. I like Lindy as a person.
Do you?
I don't know
You
him.
know, it doesn't seem like it.
But I don't know him. He's fine. He's fine.
Do you feel competitive?
He
with
also
Lindy?
has a no.
Yeah. What is happening?
Are you
right
sure?
now?
Everybody calm down, man. I was just kidding. I was making a joke to try to get a rise.
I don't
out of
know.
Andrew.
Felt like
Well,
there's
I'm
more.
I
out of
am.
it.
I'm
More have
risen.
Because
I have risen.
is it
he
because
risen
is it
indeed.
because he's that one girl's hall pass?
That no,
Is
that
that
actually
YJ?
kind of made me go, huh. Aaron Wiggins, number one on my role player. Kenrich,
Kenrich,
Kaysen,
Dort.
Joe.
What about Isaiah? I
Well,
love.
I don't
watching
consider
Isaiah
stop. I
too.
don't if they're in the starting lineup. I don't consider them role players. But yeah, I mean Dort. I love Dort.
Yeah, Dort's great. Favorite just people. Power rankings. Top 3 favorite people on the team.
Shay.
Shay.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome.
I like J-Dub. I think
And
he's our
All of them.
They're
our
all
connection to the youth, J-Dub, because he has a YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
That he keeps up with.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be really popular. I think,
I had this thought whenever it was like Shay and Chet are at the Drake J. Cole concert and like walking through. I'm like, that's how J-Dub would like enter into a Comic-Con experience, is my thought. Like he's just so
oh
different.
yeah.
It's like his world. I know he likes Drake.
Well,
and
he
all
was
that.
there. I'm sure he felt snubbed. He's been snubbed so many
Yeah, I know.
times
But
lately.
I'm like, he also is one of those dudes that sometimes would rather be, collecting Pokemon cards or playing video games or something like that. He just feels like kind of a different kind of guy.
He's a good dude.
I love him. He's my favorite.
He's
player.
fantastic.
He's my favorite.
J Will's great too.
J. Will.
Like as far as people, like somebody I'd want to go hang out with, J Will may be up there.
Yeah.
Moose.
The moose is loose, man.
They're all great. All these guys
Except
are great.
for Gordon. Like I don't want to hang out. Like Gordon I don't know what his person.
What are you taking?
I'm just asking. I'm just trying to be.
Jay.
I'm trying to have this conversation. Like,
Okay.
Hear him out.
has he had any moment where you've been in a conversation with him and be like, man, seems like he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Liar.
Yeah.
He's like, his interviews are like his game on the floor for the Thunder, where it's like,
Yeah.
Are you just trying not to say anything?
Try not to rock the boat.
He's like it feels like this whole season is an interview for a front office position for the Thunder.
Yeah.
You know what I remember
For
from
a 3-year
Gordon?
contract in the summer.
Do you guys remember years ago
Can't do
when
that
they
you
were
pay Giddy $30 million a year?
I can't remember what
don't have
interview
to
it
do
was.
We don't
And they were
have to do
talking to
this.
Gordon and his wife because they got married really young and moved in together and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And this was before they had kids.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Yeah, it's when he's playing basketball a lot and then he comes home and plays video games. So hard to get him
Yeah,
off those
it's-
video games.
It was really funny.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
It was also really funny whenever they had their like fourth gender reveal.
Yes, and it's
Fourth
another girl.
and he's just
Yes,
like,
and his face is just like,
yay.
Yeah.
okay.
No, he walked away and he was like, she said something like, "Daddy, are you happy?" And he's like, "Daddy's always happy." Really funny.
Poor Gordman.
You know who's awesome is Bismack Biyombo. Is like
Yeah.
an awesome guy.
Get
Just
him on
a
the pod, man.
very great guy. He'd be great on a pod. He likes to talk.
Let's move to our next Twitter question. It
We
comes.
didn't answer the question, but
Did we? That was our power rankings.
I mean, kind
What
of. We
power
just threw
rankings?
out all sorts
We
of.
just
We
said-
basically named the entire roster.
Olivier Song.
Who do we not
Okay.
name? That's the more where you're like, ooh, that was kind of telling because we didn't actually mention Josh.
We didn't say Kaysen.
And I actually don't hate Josh, just to be clear.
I mean, you shouldn't.
Move on, man.
Okay, just wanted to see if you were going to get yourself in trouble. All right, our next Twitter question comes from @SahandDK, who wants to know which is more impressive, Russ winning the MVP trophy in the 16-17 season or possibly Shea winning it this season.
More
Oh,
impressive.
man, that's hard.
What Russ did that season, I don't want it to get lost because I think we can have some recency bias because Shea's been incredible this year, and it is an insane story. But what Russ did was improbable.
Yeah.
Like that, that team was not good enough to have an MVP on it. You know what I mean? Like they were only competitive because of him.
Yeah.
The amount of game winners, the amount of clutch shots.
Yeah.
Some of his stat lines were so insane that year. I don't know.
What seed were they?
I think
7?
I think they were the 7th seed.
Like, okay, just think about that. How good, like how much you have to take over the narrative for your team to be a 7 seed
And win it.
and you
Yeah.
win the MVP
I think that's right.
In
over
that-
Harden and Kawhi.
Well, in the final game against Denver, maybe it wasn't it wasn't the final game. In the game that won him the MVP, where they think they clinched a playoff spot, 50, 16, and 10
With a game winner. 3.
with the game winner,
Wow.
a 50-point triple double in that game.
Mhm.
A few games before that against Memphis, 45, 9, and 10 with 4 steals. I mean, he had 57, 13, and 11 against Orlando in a win. I mean,
57.
the game before that, 37, 13, and 10, 39, 11, and 13. I mean, the stats are insane. He had 58 points against the Blazers that year. I mean, 45, 17, and 9 against Phoenix. I mean, he had such a crazy season statistically.
Yeah.
I mean, it is wild to just pour through his box scores
I mean, he
from
was
that season.
he was a one-man show
Oh,
throughout
yeah.
that entire season. And like everyone knew what he was doing and couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was it was crazy what he was doing. And that's what I mean, everybody loved Russ before then, but it was that season that like cemented like all these like Russ stands, and because he stayed, you know, he signed the extension
This is right after KD left.
right after KD left, and then he wins the MVP right after Kevin leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, he became just an absolute legend.
Yeah.
You know, the person that averaged the second most points on that team was Victor Oladipo. He had 15.9 points per game. Then it was Enes Kanter, who had 14 points per game. Then Steve-O at 11. And then nobody else averaged double-digit points.
So 2 centers were our top 4 scorers.
Yeah. And Victor Oladipo had a really disappointing season with the Thunder that year. And then obviously traded him for Paul George, and he got a lot better in Indy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was because he talked about how Russell Westbrook worked, and he, you know, wanted to be like that. So, but yeah, that was a crazy season. 31.6 points per game, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 1.6 steals per game for Russ.
Because I think if you replace Russ with like almost any other player in the NBA that season, they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that's
Yep.
fair to say.
So, I mean, that's how. So I would say most impressive, no shade to Shea. It's Russ.
It would be, yeah.
It's Russ. I
It's
think
going to be
has
tough to beat that one. Also, just because what?
Nothing.
Just
It would
Just Elman.
I'm actually just thinking about Taylor. Mhm.
it's
thinking about
it's going to
Luke.
be tough to
Always think about Luke.
to overcome that.
I'm thinking about Andrew.
Whatever.
Look at us.
Andrew, who you thinking about?
Thinking about
Oh,
His next door neighbor.
thinking about my next door neighbor.
No one's thinking about Jay.
Great guy.
that's fine.
No, there's
I
some
think
guy
about
over there.
myself.
I'm thinking about myself. Hey guys, let's move to our next Twitter question.
Huh?
It comes from @Caleb_T_Jones__, who says, are Shea's MVP chances being hurt because of how good Jub and Chet are? The Nuggets need Jokic. The Thunder obviously wouldn't be as good without Shea, but Shea will rightfully allow Jub and Chet to cook and shine.
No.
No,
Has this good trait hurt him?
don't think that Jokic is a one-man player on that team. That team is so good.
They're really good.
Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. is having an amazing year, his best
Mhm.
year ever. Yeah, this is not
KCP.
that Nuggets team is amazing. They have really good
Christian Brown.
players. They
Reggie
have
Jackson.
players that you might put ahead of Chet and J-Dub, or at least talk about in that same way.
Who?
I don't know.
Jamal
I'm just
Murray,
saying the
maybe.
level. Jamal
Maybe.
Murray. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the level of the players Jokic is playing with is
Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
he's playing with nobodies.
Yeah, Jamal is probably. I mean, I
Yeah, it's
don't-
not like
I
he's
don't
running
know.
that Thunder team from Russ's MVP era.
Yeah. He's not. He's got good players around him. Obviously, I mean, he's losing because, for whatever reason, the media have just completely latched onto Jokic and latched onto the idea that he's the best player in the world, which I think is fair to say. But I think,
Well, and they
large-
just won. I mean, we don't have they have precedence. They
If
have
Thunder,
like the
if the
Yeah.
Thunder get the 1 seed, I think there's still a good chance that Shea gets.
he
like,
should win it if they get the 1 seed.
I think if they were on TV more, that he would.
I think people aren't watching them enough.
If
I think
they-
Yeah, well, look
Yeah.
at last
It's a
night. So if
narrative
you're on
thing.
Twitter at all, like last night, Jokic makes this. I mean, it's a stupid, ridiculously awesome pass.
yeah, it's
to
crazy.
Aaron Gordon underneath.
It's crazy.
And you're like, that on its own gets.
Are there mirrors somewhere in the arena?
It's
Like,
weird
what's going
because
on?
he doesn't just throw it. It's not like he just like. I'm assuming he's back there. He throws it to the exact
Like,
right
in the
spot.
pocket.
yeah.
Just
In
like,
the pocket.
How did you do that?
It,
That's
so
that's part
the
of it.
stuff for Jokic. Is
Yeah.
Jokic gets the, and I think it's also he's shockingly this elite
Yeah.
because you watch him lumber up and down the floor, and like there's so many funny videos of dudes that are just like, how is this guy
Wait, this
doing
guy-
what he's doing? But it,
Yeah.
I mean, Jokic is unbelievable. He
He's
is the
really
best
good.
player in
It's
the
the
world.
same.
right now.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is the same reason why people underrated him and why everyone thought, oh, why are you guys
Dude, but he's gonna be
overrating
a
Jokic
three-time
and blah blah blah
MVP
blah?
if he wins this year. Like,
Yeah, 3-time
He's
MVP. He
really-
should be 4 though. This,
don't
if he
know.
wins, it
Who-
should
I
be
mean-
4. But he just won the championship. This
I-
is what happens. He's
yeah.
a star now.
Embiid was
He's the
awesome.
he's the guy.
and is awesome.
Yeah, should be. I don't think so. I
But-
think. I mean, the MVP doesn't always. If the MVP went to the best player in the league every year,
LeBron would have
LeBron
11.
and MJ would have a
12
vast.
apiece.
You know.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it works.
I would like
That's not
to.
how it works.
I would like to know, and I don't know this. The last time the MVP did not play on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that would be interesting to know.
I feel like you could do some work on that.
Possibly, and if I had thought about this before this exact second, I would have. But going back, I mean, the NBA puts their biggest players and biggest teams that they're pushing, they're in control. They put it on
It was
Christmas
probably
Day.
Jokic.
I was going to say it's
4 or
probably
5 years
Jokic.
ago, 3
Yeah.
or 4 years ago.
And so that, I mean, that if the Thunder were on TV, on national TV, 20 times more this season, I think everyone would be talking about like it's neck and neck.
Yeah,
But they're just not on TV enough.
I agree with that in part, but Shea is very much in the narrative.
But I mean, just think about how much more he would be
Yeah, it
if
was.
he was on TV more.
It was Jokic in 21. Did not.
But that's got to be one of the few.
Yeah.
Russ in 17. I can't imagine them putting that Thunder team on in Christmas.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, unless they were playing the Warriors.
Both
Yeah.
both years for Jokic. No, he was the second year. Never mind. Let's see. Yeah, 2017 or 2016 Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they played the Timberwolves.
Oh,
The Thunder did.
Timberwolves.
We all-
Great
in
game.
Was that Jimmy
16.
Butler Timberwolves?
Great game.
Let's see.
It doesn't matter. This is an
Yeah.
insignificant. number, but-
No, it wasn't. Andrew Wiggins, Gorgie Jang, Karl Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine, Ricky Rubio, Shabazz Muhammad played 25 minutes in that game.
Whoa.
Wow.
Shout
Wow.
out. Shout out.
So that see, I'm smart.
I think you're right in part, but it's just the fact that like Jokic is and the Nuggets are playing incredibly well since the All-Star break. Like,
So are the Thunder.
so are the I'm not just saying like there's a reason Jokic is getting the pub.
The Thunder are literally in the first spot in the Western Conference and have the tiebreaker over the Nuggets.
I'm watching this team
Touche.
as well. I
Touche,
know.
Jay.
I'm with you guys.
I just think
You know how national media
They also
is
have-
with
you're not,
OKC.
you're not
though?
better-
competing against my vote.
better offensive team, better defensive team by the ratings, better net
Yeah, but
rating.
steals don't matter, which I think is the dumbest narrative.
God,
I've
it
ever
has
heard
gone
take
way
over.
too far where it's like
I don't get it.
yes, we all understand that steals aren't everything when it comes to defense. Everybody should know that. But then to like completely dismiss it and almost act
Thank
like
you.
it's a
I'm
negative.
so with you. I'm like,
like
yeah,
this-
nobody cares about steals. I'm like,
It's like, no. Like if you're actually watching Shea, and that's the problem, is that people
There
aren't
you go.
watching him
Yeah.
enough. The people look at his stats and he doesn't do the 45-point games. He doesn't do the 50-point games. He's 30 but he contributes on both ends every single night. He watches so much basketball and like knows the plays the other teams are going to run. The reason that he gets steals is not because he's going for them. It's because
No,
he knows
he's
what
not
plays they're
gambling.
going to
I know.
run.
I
And he
know.
goes and he like intercepts it.
he's also got great
like he's a
hands.
safety.
Like he can one-on-one defensively. Like he has great hands where he pokes the ball well without fouling. Like
Yes.
that's the fact that has been downplayed so much is
It's-
just absurd.
It's gotten to a crazy point where it's like
Totally agree.
it should be a massive positive for him that he is averaging the most steals per game. The people that are downgrading it aren't watching.
No.
They don't see what has been going on with this Thunder team and with him in particular. And
Although Kevin Pelton and Zach Lowe had I thought a really good conversation about this kind of exact narrative.
Yeah.
And they talked about him defensively and how he's not getting him from the gambling ones, where he's like,
Yeah. well, they watch like those guys
Yeah.
are paying attention.
yeah. So I think that there are enough smart people. The issue is those aren't the only people that get to vote for the MVP. There'll be
Yeah.
a lot of casual MVP voters.
hmm
And they're like, oh, yeah, Jokic, that's who it is because he won the championship last year and was the MVP and was unstoppable and he's
Yeah.
fantastic. And look at the Nuggets this
And I
year.
hear other people saying
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
it's becoming a group think. It's becoming more group think than it should be.
Yeah.
For
That's-
him.
and that's kind of just what happens every
That
year.
is what
It
happens.
just
Oh,
kind of
Side
solidifies.
Was it against the Must have been against the Jazz where they kept Shea in. It
Mhm.
felt like just to get 30.
Well, it was weird because he went to Lindy, your favorite player in the world, came to the scorers table to come in for Shea, and as had Shea not scored on that play, he would have come out.
Okay.
But he got an and one on that play to give him 29
And
points,
keep him in. Since
and then he
couldn't
had to
sub.
stay in for an additional 2 possessions. However, during those possessions, it was Shea did not give up the ball. Shea was going to go get his 31 as
Yeah.
long as he was in the game.
And he
But
hit
I
that.
do
He
think,
hit that too, and then they intentionally fouled.
yeah.
got him
And
out.
then I think he was going to get pulled when he had 26.
Yeah.
But then he happened to get an and one. And then,
like, well, it's close enough. Let's just let him get to it and then move on.
but it was like,
We were like, they tried. And as soon as it did, Kaysen
hey,
intentionally fouled.
listen, this is Oklahoma City. We know what stat padding looks like.
Hey, man. Do it. Let it
True.
rip.
Yeah, do it. And that's the thing.
You have to though.
Go
If you-
do it. That's how you have to go do it because people aren't going to watch. How
Yeah.
many people know that
Yeah.
happened? Like how many people nationally know that happened?
None.
Like nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. So you have to go do it.
He needs to score 60 on Sunday night against the Bucks.
See, that's the thing is he needs to if he wants to win it, he needs to go and have like a moment over the next 2 weeks because he's going to have a chance because they're playing a lot of teams that people are going to watch.
Suns,
So
Bucks, Boston.
they play the Pelicans,
Sixers,
who have
Pelicans.
been good. You know, like go beat those teams, and go like show that you are the best player in these games. And he can win the MVP. It can happen over the next 2 weeks. The narrative
Don't lose
can
another
flip.
game.
It can flip.
Win them all.
He has a chance to flip the narrative over the next 2 weeks, and it'll be up to him. Can he do it? We'll see.
Our next Twitter question comes from @SunsetDrive14, who wants to know, what do you guys think the high-end possibilities are for this version of the Thunder in the future? A championship? Maybe a few? Or even a dynasty?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to think it couldn't be a dynasty. You just have to. They have to at least. I think you have to do something in the playoffs this year. And I'm not saying Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying championship. But I'm saying you cannot flame out in the first round. I don't care who your opponent is. I don't care if it's the Warriors. I don't care if it's the Lakers or the Mavericks or the Suns. You need to win. You're good enough. And Michele, man, he had a moment on the Monday pod where I was like standing up and cheering because it was like he was like. It just spoke the narrative that I've been trying to articulate, but did it really well. Where he just is like, I understand. Hey, you're not going to be afraid of the Thunder, but the only thing working against the Thunder is the age.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, people would be like, oh, yeah, you don't want to play the Thunder because they play a game, a style of basketball that is, I mean, elite. And so watching this team, I just think there's no reason not to think if you keep Chet, J-Dub, and Shea together for 10 years, multiple championships, which is a dynasty, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah.
How many is a dynasty? How many championships do you need to be dynasty?
3.
3 in 6 years?
I think. Well, then it gets debated because like the Spurs are like, obviously they were a dynasty, but people debate they never won 2 in a row. You know, so it's like, is it a dynasty? I mean, it obviously was, but people will debate that.
Yeah.
You know,
Just because they need to kill time.
yeah, people debate that, but yeah, I mean, what other team would be that is coached this well, that has an MVP candidate, that's top 5 in both offense and defensive rating, they have the second best net rating in the NBA and have all season? What other team would be talked about like this?
But the other thing is that
There's not another team in the West.
Do you want to know what one of my hot takes was at the start of the year? That they would be top 10 in defense and offense, and one of them would be top 5. And that was, I think it got me one of the hottest peppers.
Wow. And it was a hot take then. Absolutely. It was.
Everything was a hot take.
They're
then.
third
No
in-
one thought they'd be this.
They're third in offense.
but to be
third.
and then to be positioned with all that with Shea and then a second-year player and essentially a first-year player in chat.
Yeah.
I mean, we are poised to be. We're this good now.
Yeah.
And they still have like 15.
We've been
Yeah,
here
they have all the
before.
draft picks. And like if you would even just like take the draft picks out of it, like these guys are going to get better.
Yeah.
Like almost everybody on the team has room to get better.
Yeah.
And they're going to get better as they play more games together, as they kind of go through it together in the playoffs. They're going to get better. And then you have the draft picks where it's like, hey,
We got 10
can-
swings.
I could-
yeah.
We thought this before. We've been here before.
No, we
And
have
this
not.
team-
No.
Not
We
like
have.
us.
They have not been here before. No team has ever been here before. Teams have had good young teams like the Thunder did. No young team has had 15, 16, whatever it
Yeah.
is, first round draft picks.
The
On
Thunder
top of
did.
it.
The Thunder
It has
did.
never happened.
I
It has
also think
never
the narrative
happened.
around the Thunder is different today, and I've said this. I know we've had some disagreements on this. I think that there is a higher likelihood that teams would actually choose to play for this team versus because it was so early in the
Versus that
Oklahoma
other
era.
one.
Yeah. Well, you
And
think
the
about how
city has
LeBron
grown
talks
up a
about this
ton.
team. You know, like
Some of that is very much like
Yeah.
changed, and I think there if there's somebody that comes up that's the perfect role player, because that's the other difference is they don't need an elite guy. They've got 3 guys. They
Yeah.
never had 3 guys. Like Harden was the only one, but he was the 6th man.
hmm
I just think they will be able to overpay on anybody they want to when they want to.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm saying we had this same conversation. I'm not saying it's the same thing. We thought and felt the same way about that before. And this team can break the curse, break the generational curse.
Yeah.
Break the loop because they've set Sam Presti has learned his lessons. He has now,
Yeah.
he was a genius back then. Look at what he does now, like decisions he makes now versus what he did back then.
Yeah.
And he was still respected and loved back then and thought, oh, wow, this guy's so progressive. Look how much like more wise everything he does is.
Yeah. You're not having he's not drafting like Mitch McGarry's and guys that aren't doing anything.
Dude, he's not getting Caron Butler anymore. He's not getting one of these older vets that's just going to come in and maybe, that feels like such a traditional and not intelligent move now.
So like when
And
we
he's
were
not
just
going to do that.
and then we were just talking about like Caron Butler played the 5th highest minutes. Like Gordon Hayward is not going to be the 5th highest minutes in the playoffs on this team.
Dude,
I don't
there's
think
10
so.
guys on this team that can play in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
I think he's going to be like,
I think you're going to see a lot of Gorg.
I don't know.
I wouldn't
don't
mind
think
it.
so.
He's been a good defender,
But
and
I
his
just think-
size has been good.
But I just think we're so it's Chet's first year. He's going to get so much better, and J-Dub's going to get so much better. There could be a version of this team where Shea in a few years is the 3rd best player, and those two are better than him,
I mean,
and
that
he's
is-
still playing at a hugely high level.
I mean, if that happened, they would win like 5 in a row.
like Shea is like
I'm just
quickly
saying,
a top
but those
5 to 8
but those
player
two
in the
guys are
NBA,
going to
not top
those two guys
4.
are going to get better,
Yeah, they'll get better.
yeah.
and they're in year 1 and 2 are fantastic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen what Usman Jang's going to become.
That's right.
Golly.
I saw a tweet that was like highlights from Us playing in the G League, and it was like, "All right, we got our 4th guy figured out." I can't, and it wasn't a joke tweet. I can't remember who tweeted it, and if I did, I wouldn't say your
Yeah.
name.
It's Andrew.
Andrew Schleck.
Guys,
Guys, he's right
he
here.
looks good.
He looks good.
He's great at layups. This is the longest Friday pod we've ever had.
This is a long
It's
one.
feeling good.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm just taking L-Man's lead.
shall we do another Twitter question or shall we make the mission test?
Well, apparently you don't have to go to work.
I
so
don't.
I was gonna say.
Could we have done this
No,
a
I
little
do
later
not.
today? I'm just saying.
Let's do one more. See, because things are going good. And it comes from, this is a good one, at Thunder_in6. Looking at the Suns' final 10 games, where do you expect them to finish?
What did looking at the sun confuse you?
Yeah. The Sun. You're going to
stare
have
at the sun and
stare at
then
the sun.
project.
Speaking of the pandemic,
Yeah,
whenever President Trump looked up at the sun,
Yeah.
I think that's
By the way,
That's
did you
what it
get your
would look like.
eclipse glasses?
no, but we've been talking about it though.
We
I thought we just had an eclipse in like
I thought it was
November.
one of like, oh, this only happens every once in a while.
Dude, that's what I
Like
thought
2
too.
years ago.
How
What are we talking
come?
about?
How come we have 2 eclipse years and it's like you're never gonna get this one for
Yeah, this-
14 years?
You bet. Yeah. No,
And
they're
apparently Oklahoma's like in the range. Like we get a really good view of it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it'll be cloudy.
yeah.
okay. Let's go over the Sun Phoenix because
Why?
this is the question that's being asked. Here we go. They play San Antonio twice. They play Denver, OKC, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, New Orleans, Clippers, Sacramento, Minnesota. So the point is that they basically just have like 2 games against San Antonio that are easy, and then they play
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they're healthy, they can win almost all of them.
Yeah,
They're
their
just
last
not
10
ever
games.
healthy.
Their last 10 games are insane. And it's going to be really tough. Denver, OKC, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, New Orleans, Clippers, Kings, Minnesota. I mean, I guess he wants to yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear that like pretty clearly.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just please stop.
Please stop.
But they're already in the play-in. Like they're not going to. I mean, they could fall to 8, during this. I don't think they're going to fall to like 9, 10. So they're just not. They're just unlikely to be the 6th seed. And so if you're the Thunder, you look at that, and if you are 2, then it's and Sacramento lost to the Wizards last night, which is just catastrophic.
Herder's probably out for the season, right? Dislocated
Yeah.
shoulder and torn labrum.
Yeah, that's really bad. So he's not been very good for them this season.
Yeah, but he's still
Anyways,
playing.
I know.
Both
It's not
legs.
good. Anyways, it's likely still that it's 7-8 will be Phoenix and Sacramento would be my guess. And then if you're the Thunder and if you do wind up in the 2 seed, which I still think is the most likely, then you're going to play whoever wins that. Which I like.
Can you imagine Lakers Nuggets first round? It feels so good
I would love
to watch the
that.
Nuggets
Oh my
just
God.
sweep them in the first
They're
round.
just going to truck the Lakers. Yeah, it would be over pretty quick.
Yeah, 4 games.
It'd be amazing. It'd be great.
Or if the Lakers just lose to the Warriors.
Which could also happen, and then they just go home. Like one of those teams is going home,
Mhm.
like right away.
Probably the Warriors.
Probably the Warriors, which is also cool.
Also cool.
Miffed and peeved.
Did y'all do anything for spring break?
Went to work every day.
Yeah.
Today.
Went to the gathering place.
But that was last week. Your spring break was last week.
Yeah.
Taylor,
That's a staycation.
did you do anything with your
Yeah,
girls?
more of a staycation.
No, they're little.
They don't care.
They
just
don't
think it's
even
a normal
know.
day.
They don't
Stay-
even know what's going on.
Staycation.
Staycation. No, it also worked.
Yesterday we had a fun day so we stayed in town, our son stayed in town.
Staycation.
He did
Staycation.
3 days of Solid Rock basketball camp, and then yesterday we're like, all right, this is all my wife's idea.
My wife's
idea. She was like, Andrew, here's what we'll do. Since we're not going anywhere, why don't you invite some buddies over and you can have a pool party.
Ooh.
So we heated the pool, and anyway, but we
They have a pool.
Rich.
we took
A heated pool.
They had-
hot tub.
so
Hot tub.
we took 10 of his buddies over to the church, and they played basketball for like 2 hours, and then all of them came over to the house, and it was just a really fun time.
Smelly.
Mm.
You were
Yeah, I shocked the
Stinky.
crap out of that pool
Yeah,
when they left.
stinky.
It always
Were you-
dirty. It was like hazy to the bottom. I was like, get out of my life now. But anyway, it's not miffed and peeved as much as a G and B.
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
it had a good time.
shout-
Ate some Little Caesars.
Ooh.
We'll say.
Hey, have you had the new mini puffs?
Yeah, that's what we got.
Are they
Little Caesars
good?
For. Yeah.
What's
I've-
going on?
I've
I keep
heard
hearing
they're
about
I
them.
hear they're very good.
Yeah,
Is
they're
that
good.
like a
Mini
viral
puffs.
thing?
It's
Why is
like-
everyone talking about that?
They look like little souffle. Like they make
Yeah.
them in like a cupcake pan.
Yeah.
But they're little doughy,
Yeah.
they're like little pizzas, basically.
And they're little
Oh.
pizzas, but they're really small. But they apparently have a really good crunch to them.
They've got a good ratio of all of the
Yeah.
flavors, like sauce to cheese
I
to
want to try.
pepperoni.
What do you
to-
think it is? The combination of junk food and they're cute? Is that why they're so
It's
popular?
just a good combination. Wait, I just said it.
I think they're
Yeah, but
tasty.
why is everyone talking?
Because I think
No
they-
one talks about
I've
Little
never-
Caesars.
This is the first I've
Why
heard
am I
about
hearing
it, by the
about
way.
that? This is the third podcast that's
Because
talking
the
about these Little
commercials.
Caesars
Because the
foods.
commercials.
I've never seen one.
I also think they're paying influencers to talk about them.
Yeah.
They didn't pay me.
Yeah, I
Let
can
me just
see.
say, be the first to say, they didn't pay me, but I would take
TikTok.
their money.
I finally gave in
TikTok.
and trying the Little Caesars Crazy Puffs on TikTok.
Yeah, and I've heard
Yeah.
people
Wow.
say they're good. And so
We're in uncharted territory here. Go try the Little Caesars.
The Little
Crazy
Caesars
Puffs.
by my house though shut down.
Ooh.
The one at Broadway
Oh,
and
that really?
33rd shut
If
down.
they could have just made it to this
If they could have
moment,
made it to
they
the
would have had
Crazy
a
Puffs.
boom.
So what happened? This is why I'm miffed and peeved. Is the city of Edmond changed that intersection to reduce the traffic, and in doing so, they made it really hard to get into
and out.
their shopping center where
I
Little
hate
Caesars
that.
is.
They should
They
sue.
should sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
You want to call them?
yeah. Hey, Little Caesars, hit me up. Give me some. Pay me to talk about your food.
Sue the city of Edmond.
Pay me to talk about your food. I'm already talking
Jamba
about.
Juice gone.
Oh,
Little Caesars gone.
Hey,
Oh,
Wow. How are you going to get your chocolate moods?
Is that what Jamba Juice does?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's also
what about that
but,
Schlossky's
hey, it did-
Austin
it
Eatery?
did- who knows?
Where are you
But
going to get a shake that has 1,200 calories besides Jamba Juice?
Brahms?
No,
True.
no.
But
I don't
so
know.
Jamba Juice did. Here's the upgrade though: is they also rebuilt over here at Santa Fe and 15th,
Yeah.
and added an Annie Ann's to it,
Oh,
So pretzels. and a 12,000 calorie
Yeah,
healthy shake.
How is
Oh,
Jamba
yeah.
Juice still doing it?
there's some Jamba heads out there.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Some
mostly
Jamba Mamas?
Jamba mamas, mainly high school students and college students. Is
And
who I
also
think
people that
go
have
there.
convinced themselves that it's a healthy meal
healthy.
supplement.
It's healthy and
You're
not.
like you go eat a cheeseburger and have less calories than
Oh,
what you
yeah.
just consumed in a Jamba Juice.
oh yeah,
But you
But-
feel healthy.
but then you do the little grass shots and you're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
it
just-
clears it right
Just
out.
eat some grass.
Wheatgrass.
Totally
Remember when that was
cool.
a thing too?
Still there, man.
Still there.
Totally
Go to
cool.
Jamba.
You can still cut
I've
it.
had some wheatgrass.
I haven't had a Jamba Juice in I'm guessing 20 years.
Swing
Yeah.
by on the way home.
Yeah, I have not.
Not gonna.
I have not either.
What
Tucker,
about- what
Tucker
about,
Smith in the chat says, shout out to Andrew and his midnight post-game podcast in the Thunder bathroom for the heads up about the Jubb signing. He got a signed ball,
Oh, nice.
and I met him in line. He's asking me if I'm going to be at the Aaron Wiggins signing next month. I will not
What?
Why?
be in on the Jubb signings, though.
Why won't you beat the Aaron Wiggins one?
Where is it?
I
Same
don't know.
place?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Do you have to go out to the outlet
Little
malls?
Caesars.
It's at Little Caesars, guys. He's signing the
I'm
Puffs.
signing.
He's
I'm
signing
signing
Puffs.
pizza boxes at Little
Yeah.
Caesars.
Yeah.
They don't know, but when you walk out, I'm going to demand to sign your box with a Sharpie. Give me that box. Putting my name on it.
What's your name?
Jay.
Oh.
Y'all are weird.
All right.
Did I say something?
Yeah, that whole thing.
I don't think so.
None of us are miffed. That's good. We're all G and B.
I'm miffed.
All G and B'd.
I'm just constantly miffed.
That's
I'm
like
not.
the whole.
Actually, I feel great.
No, it's a secret.
Constant state of miffed.
It's
All
a
right.
secret. I'm always miffed.
We will have another podcast for you guys on Monday.
I don't want to end this. Do you guys want to sing?
You just want to stay here?
What do y'all want to talk about?
What do you want to sing?
Sing?
Y'all want to go see the new Ghostbusters?
I've heard it's bad,
I
but
don't
I would
know.
like to see it. I saw the other one on TV, and I was like, "Oh, this is enjoyable. It's fine."
Look,
But I'd like to see a new one.
have you watched Roadhouse yet? I watched Roadhouse last
No.
night.
Is it good?
Oh, loved it.
I'd like to
Jake
see.
Gyllenhaal was great.
The thing
Does he rip
is,
a dude's throat out?
No, but there's some different stuff.
here's what I'm
Does
Does he do
hoping.
Tai Chi by
Roadhouse?
the?
No,
Out in
it's
front of the
different.
yard?
He's UFC. He's
I've never
not-
seen the original Roadhouse, and I know I should.
Yeah,
I've
that's
not
good.
seen it. I've heard.
I mean,
really
it's not good, but
But
that's
it's
what's good
enjoyable.
about it.
Jay, here's my question. The thing that I want from the second Ghostbusters, do you know what it is?
Hold on. No,
Okay, it is Rick Moranis.
I
want-
know.
I need it.
I know.
Oh,
I
He
that
has
need
to come
it.
out of
awesome.
retirement.
He's not going to.
Oh.
He's not
happy.
going to.
He's
He's not
happy.
coming.
Did you ever hear the story about he was just randomly
Beat up.
beat up down
Yeah,
the street?
some guy just ran by and
hit
punched
him
him.
as hard as he could.
And it's
Really?
Rick Moranis, yeah.
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
And you just see this little street camera of Rick Moranis just walking down the street. Guy just poof, punches him.
yeah.
It's
Poor guy.
terrible.
Yep.
We're ready for him to come back.
It's
We're
time.
so
It's
ready.
time.
Yeah, it's
And supposedly he retired to like help, like he basically raise his kids.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
they've
so.
got to be old enough for you to come back, Rick.
I mean,
We need you.
I mean, yeah.
He is. The world would be so ready.
So much better because of his
Yeah.
reappearance.
Like
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 5.
Yeah.
Bring it. What
That would
else?
be
What's your
cool.
favorite Rick Moranis movie?
man, he is.
Because we're talking about him as if he's like
the thing.
you're like,
My
oh,
favorite.
all of these
Literally,
movies. It's like,
literally.
Little Giants.
It's really good. In that.
Ghostbusters 2.
1 and 2.
Ghostbusters 2, when he's in the courtroom,
Yeah.
I think it's hysterical.
Ghostbusters 2, there's a season of my life when I was younger where it was like one of the only movies I had on VHS.
Yeah.
I almost memorized the whole entire movie.
The thing, you know what the
And
best,
Hook.
you know what the best part is about Ghostbusters 2?
Vigo, the
Mhm.
sculptor of Carpathia.
The soundtrack.
Oh,
The soundtrack is phenomenal.
What
you know
about-
what other soundtracks are really good? Is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? What is it?
The new one?
Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Not the most recent one. I'm talking about the old one, Secret of the Ooze.
Well, the newest one is
I've
also
heard-
good.
I've not seen it. I really want to see it.
It's really good.
I've heard it's phenomenal.
I've seen it like 3 times. It's great.
Seth
It's a great
Rogen,
movie.
right?
Yeah, it's great.
John
It's great.
Cena's in it. There's a ton of people in it.
What about the movie Big Bully?
Well,
don't
thanks
think
for
I've seen
listening to our
that.
pod.
How many times could they shrink things to? You know,
Well, no. Well, eventually they blew up one.
That's
Yeah,
what I
they
said.
did.
Didn't they?
And the little
Honey,
kid
I
got
blew
big.
up the kid.
Yeah, a big toddler.
It's true.
Wrecking downtown.
That was the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
when they realized they kind of jumped the shark.
No, it's well. That's
I don't know what that phrase
I
means.
think that's I think that's the second best one.
Really.
I would say 2. I don't remember anything about 2.
Honey,
I,
we shrunk ourselves.
yeah, honey, we
I mean,
shrunk
they
ourselves.
shrunk themselves,
So mom and dad got shrunk.
Everyone got
Yeah.
shrunk.
and they're in the big.
Oh,
thing
yeah,
of-
Mom and
they're
Dad
the
got
big Cheerios. They're in the bowl.
That's
of
in
Cheerios.
the- that's in the
Honey, I
first
Shrunk
one.
Kids.
I haven't seen it in a while.
There's an ant.
Oh yeah,
I
the
think
ant in
I-
the grass.
They ride the ant.
Yeah,
Oh,
You ever go to Disney World where they had the
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground?
Yes, it was good. It's not there anymore.
wasn't it Universal?
No,
No.
Disney.
What do they do with all of like the stuff whenever? Like, would you pay a decent amount of money to have that
Collectors
large?
buy it.
Wouldn't you have that large ant in your backyard? Wouldn't that be awesome?
No.
That'd
Why
be cool.
not?
No. What?
They're doing.
You don't think that large ant would scare away the geese?
No.
It's
Yeah.
scary.
No,
It's
actually,
scary.
no.
Your
They
Yeah, I
have,
think
children.
they have
there's a way to get-
extreme confidence.
They really
Geese
do.
do.
Yeah.
That's why you got to wring their neck.
I think it's because they're. I think it's. I
Thanks for
don't think
listening.
it's confidence. I think they're dumb.
Jay just walks around grabbing geese by the neck.
I'm
All right.
sure it's
That's
illegal.
Roadhouse.
I'm pretty sure it's a
Jay, don't watch Roadhouse
Pretty
when
sure it's
there's
illegal,
geese
but-
in your yard.
We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.